What's up, everybody? Flying Scorpion here, and today I'm going to talk with you about this war that I just finished running in the Suya system to help Black Omega take control of it and take control out of the hands of the Friends of Super Rara. This has been weeks in the making. It took a lot of grinding. I'm a little bit tired, and I have recorded this video I don't know how many times now, so this has got to be it. I got to stop recording now and just get this one published on YouTube and be done with it. I'm recording on April 2nd, and this will be published several weeks from now, if not a month from now. So yeah. So this is the Suya system, and I'll show you where it is in the galaxy map. It is on the edge of the bubble in Archon Delaney's territory. Let's go to power play. So here we go. We're on the edge of the bubble, and it is now an anarchy system. It was a cooperative system before. And when you win a war, you take control of the most valuable asset owned by the losing faction. And in this case, it is this starport, Rutherford Port, which is the controlling starport for the system. And it says right here, the faction triumphed in a conflict with Friends of Super Rara and took control of Rutherford Port and the Suya system. Not the easiest task to do. Here's a graph. I'm going to try to make sure my face isn't hiding any details. Over the past several months, Friends of Super Rara was dominating the system, and the Friends of Super Rara are present in 19 star systems, and they used to own 3 systems, and they own quite a few stations, actually. And it seems like the players that run this faction set things up where when they take control of a system, they own all of the assets, or most of the assets. And that was the case here in Suya. And they were kicking out Black Omega. Black Omega was down at below 2.5% influence, and because Black Omega isn't native to this system, they could have gotten kicked out. So I jumped in a little over a month ago, and I started fighting for Black Omega to boost their influence up, and I started tanking Friends of Super Rara's influence down by destroying their civilian ships and destroying their security vessels. But the downside to that was I was racking up pretty hefty bounties on my head and gaining notoriety, and notoriety is a pain in the ass to deal with in Elite Dangerous. So I stopped. I went back to the drawing board. I did more research on how the background simulation works. I built a couple new ships. During that time, Friends of Super Rara were boosting back up again in their influence, and Black Omega was going back down into pretty close to the danger zone. And when I came back with a vengeance and really quickly boosted Black Omega and really quickly tanked Friends of Super Rara. So how did I tank Friends of Super Rara? This is kind of an important point. I learned that you can fly to installations and settlements on the planets, and you can blow up skimmers and turrets to tank the influence of the controlling faction, the faction that owns that starport or that installation. So I would fly down to this one, Star Chef Terminal. I'd blow up all of the turrets in the base, and then I would fly back out into the space, turn around, come back, and it would reset the instance, respawn all the turrets, blow them all up again, rinse and repeat the process to tank the security status and the influence of Friends of Super Rara in this system. So you can target this system. That's kind of a hard thing to do. I also did some smuggling. I smuggled in some stuff. I'm not really quite sure how effective that was. And just ran a bunch of missions for Black Omega. When their influence levels converge, they then go to war. And the way that the war works is it's best out of 7. And all these conflict zones open up. You go to the conflict zone, you pick a side. I'll put some background footage up here. You pick a side, you fight for that side, and whichever side has more conflict zones that were won or more war actions done on that day or whatever, I'm not quite sure how it works, wins the fight or the conflict for that day. And the first one to get to 4 wins out of 7 wins the war. So the first day I was going really gung-ho. I was all excited because it's my first time doing this, and I ran a bunch of conflict zones, and I learned a lot, and I was being challenged, and it was a lot of fun. And after the server tick on the next day when I woke up, I looked and I checked. Black Omega won the war for the previous day. All right, good. I've spent a little bit less time on the second day. Same deal, Black Omega won. Third day, same deal. A little bit less time spent doing it. Black Omega won. They were dominating. And so it was on the 4th day. That was the real turning point. If Black Omega won the war, or won the battle on the 4th day, that would be it. The war would be over. Black Omega would be the victor, and they would take over the system, and that would be it. So I put very little effort. I only ran 1 or 2 conflicts on that day, and I just waited to see. And when I checked after the server tick on the next day, I saw that Black Omega lost the conflict on the previous day, and the Friends of Super Rara won, which is a very obvious sign that there are active players, at least one, supporting the Friends of Super Rara, and they came to the system and they fought in the conflict zones. So knowing that, and also knowing that they probably have their spirits boosted and, you know, a little bit more, probably a little more vigorated for the following day, because like, hey, we actually have a chance, I came down hard. I came down really hard yesterday, and I no-lifed the shit out of it, and I pulled together about a half dozen other commanders to help me, and we grinded it out, and I'm very thankful for everybody that helped. So if you're watching this and you were there, thanks for helping. And we won the war. So the war is over now, and I'm tired today, a little bit of bags under my eyes. I'm burnt out on conflict zones, and I don't think I necessarily want to do that again, at least not anytime soon. I really just wanted to be like, yeah, we did this, it's closed out, it's done. Yes, I can now make this video and say we have successfully flipped a system into anarchy. Whew. So from here on out, I can just leave and leave it and go, okay, I've done my thing, I'm done. But I'm thinking about sticking around and helping Black Omega get control of all of the other assets that Friends of Super Rara owns here. And there's a couple ways to do this. I could get into war with them again and again and again, and one by one take the most valuable asset away from them. But every time I do that, I run the risk of losing the entire system, because it's the most valuable asset that gets lost, and if they win, they would gain Rutherford Port back again, and with Rutherford Port comes control of the system itself. Plus, as I just said, I am burnt out on running conflict zones, so I'd rather not do that. Plus, it's long. The other way of doing it is to kick Friends of Super Rara right out of the system, and that means tanking them to below 2.5% influence, in which place they will go into a state of retreat, and if they get kicked out, all of their assets get handed over to, I think, the controlling faction. And that's probably the better way to go. So I might end up trying to do that. The problem is that if they converge with Suya Republic right now at 11% influence, Suya Republic will go to war with Friends of Super Rara, and if Suya Republic wins, as Friends of Super Rara are getting kicked out, they will gain one of the assets. So what I can do is I can push down Suya Republic till they're below about 7% influence, in which case Friends of Super Rara crossing paths with them shouldn't start a war, from what I've been informed by the background simulation community. They're a great community, by the way. Beyond that, another thing that I can do is I can boost one of these other factions till they cross 11%, and then they will go to war with Suya Republic Party. And then when they're tied up in a war, I can then tank the Friends of Super Rara's, what's the word I'm looking for? The Friends of Super Rara's influence down and slide them past, and then they will be kicked out of the system without losing any assets in a war. So that might be what I do. But anyways, I have recorded this video so many times now, and I'm really tired of doing takes, so I'm just going to stop here, put it up there on YouTube. Like I said, I'm recording this on April 2nd. It'll be weeks before this is actually published for people to see. If you're interested in Elite Dangerous, let me know. I'm thinking that after the next update, Odyssey, these installations and surface bases and stuff like that will be more valuable, because as of right now, they don't really do anything. It's just kind of like a nice thing to have. But regardless, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.